Hello, 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 hello. It is that time of year again. It's Christmas break for me, so I've been home for a couple days, enjoying some time with the family. And it's December 27th when I'm recording this, which means it's time that everybody's thinking about the dreaded New Year's resolution. And I'm here to tell you, ditch the New Year's resolution. They don't work. And here's exactly why. When you're thinking about a New Year's resolution, typically people are thinking in terms of absolutes. I'm going to run a marathon. I'm going to lose 20 pounds. I'm going to commit to reading, 15 books this year. You name it, right? And every resolution, or most resolutions, I think the number I read last night was like 90% of them fail. They do not work. And I'm here to tell you that there's an alternative. Don't go the path of the resolution. Instead, spend the next 3 or 4 days or week or whatever it takes you into the month of January to think about. Again, the purpose of my blog is healthier, wealthier, more fulfilled life. And so I've taken the steps back to say, well, what makes me happy? What makes me more fulfilled? Quite candidly, what reduces my stress and helps me sleep better? Because those are real things, especially when you've got a couple little ones in the house. So what I've done is, what I'm telling you today is ditch the resolution, run away from it. It won't work. It's not going to help you. And instead, what I've done is I've created a scorecard. And my scorecard is pretty simple. As you can see here, it's about a 5x7 that I'm holding in my hand. And the reason for that is because I think that resolutions are absolute, right? So it's 0 or 100. Did I hit it or did I not? Did I feel tremendous fulfillment and success, or did I just, quite honestly, give up on it on January 16th? And so how do we keep from doing that? And how do we utilize a scorecard to not only start to create some momentum, but then harness it and ride it? So I took a hard look at my life and I said, okay, what is it that makes me truly happy? What helps me sleep better? What puts me at ease? And I came up with 4 topics. Now, when you're doing this, I think that, I wouldn't go any more than 5, because again, the goal is simplicity. And for me, this is a monthly scorecard, right? So where I came up with this is I get the opportunity to interact with dozens, scores of Fortune 500 businesses around the country. And each and every single one of them that is successful, I would say, operates on a scorecard, right? There are metrics that they look at every single day, every single week, every single month to get them an idea that they're on track. Now, it's not perfect, right? I think I heard something a couple weeks ago that was stated as, a plane is on course 2 times, when it takes off and when it lands. And everything in between there's some variance. But the 2 most important pieces, the takeoff and the landing, are when they intersect that point of exactness, right? And so when thinking about our scorecard, I'm like, man, I feel like it would make a ton of sense to create one of these personally. What can I count? What matters? What makes sense for me in my life? Now, again, these are mine. So these are heavily personal, but very happy to share them with the crew here. So what's on here? So I've got 4 things. If you're looking at this via the video, I've got a link below. Or if you're looking at it on the blog, you'll be able to see them. But so I took a step back and said, how can I really increase my energy level? Again, better sleep, overall just better well-being, better interaction with my kids, better interaction with my wife, my friends. And so down the left side, what I've got here are the 4 categories. Number 1 is meditation for me. And it's really kind of a meditation, stretching exercise, breathing exercise. 2 is exercise. 3 is going to church. And number 4 is books. So I'm going to break these down one at a time. The meditation piece for me is really about sleep. And I don't even know that it's, I think you could probably call it meditation. Mine is I go down into my office, I shut off all the lights. I've posted about this before as well. And I put on a white noise app and I go through a breathing exercise and I stretch. I stretch hamstrings, quads, back, neck, everything where I hold all my attention from the day. And it really helps me kind of unwind. It helps me relax. And, every time that I do it, I get a great night of sleep, which fuels my energy for the next day, which, again, it's about creating momentum. So what I've got on here is I got 15 times a month. In any average month, that's every other day. And I think it's incredibly doable. But if I follow this and I keep track of my score and I check these off in the month of January and I do it 15 times, I promise you, I'm going to have a great January. I'm going to be well rested. I'm going to have a ton of energy. My attitude is just going to be in a really great place. And it's all just because of trying to, again, keep score on the things that matter. The next one here is pretty obvious. It's going to be on most people, but it's exercise. I've got it listed on here 10 times a month. Again, that's every third day, which means I can do it, 2, maybe 3 times a week. And the only reason I have that on there is because with a travel schedule, sometimes it gets a little complicated. Quite candidly, I'd like to crush that number and probably make it, 12, 15, even 20 times. I've been home here about the last week or so enjoying the holidays. I think I've been to the gym 5 out of the last 7 days. I feel great. But again, that's just one of those things I want to try to keep score of. And if I'm knocking out those first 2, I am going to feel great. I am going to have high levels of energy. I'm going to be eating right. I'm going to be drinking a ton of water. I mean, all those things that just seem really simple keep me going down a path of being healthier and being more fulfilled. The next one I've been missing on, right, the last couple months is going to church. So I've got 3 out of 4 times a month of going to church. So 3 out of 4 Sundays. Had some sickness with the kids. My daughter naps at that time, blah, blah, blah. These are all excuses. Is realistically what I'm telling you. And so we went to Christmas Eve service here a couple days ago and came home just, feeling very grateful, very fulfilled, more relaxed. And it's not too much to ask 3 times out of a month to give an hour. Even with the kids, it just isn't that hard. And again, when I do these things, I feel tremendously better. So on my scorecard, it's simple, but it's getting my butt out of bed, getting the kids moving, and getting to church. And then the last one is just about education. So it's 2 books, and I've got one written and one audible. So I've got a book I'm reading over on the table here right now from Russell Brunson, which is a pretty cool, enlightening book. And I like to do a page turner, and then I usually will knock out 1 or 2 at least via audible.com. So I've got one that I read, and then I got one that I listen to. The listen to one is super simple. It's passive. It's usually when I'm on the treadmill, I'm riding the bike, driving to work, anything that I'm doing in terms of like outdoor activities. If I've got my phone with me, I'm probably listening to something. So again, I think this is something you can use. I'm begging you, ditch the New Year's resolution. It's not worth it. It doesn't stick. Find the things. Find the 3, the 4, the 5 elements in your life that when done with any sort of frequency add to your happiness, add to your energy, they add to your health, they reduce anxiety, fear, stress, any of those components, and then get them in front of you. So this is my January scorecard. I am an incredibly visual person, and I like to check the box as well. So I will be moving forward and giving you an update here just in terms of how I delivered against this. The hardest one here probably, honestly, for me is the meditation one because I do it at night. And I do it at night because it helps me sleep better. And if I've got a day that's just kind of got me out of whack and it's 9, 9:30, 10, 10:30, I've got to grab that 15 or 20 minutes, which is not always the easiest thing to do. But I've got to make it happen. So if you can, find a scorecard, find those elements that recharge you, that energize you, that drive you forward. And as you've heard me talk about or write about before, it creates momentum. And if you've seen momentum swing in a sporting event, you know that the air can get sucked out of a building really fast. And I know we all go through that. I've gone through it. And so you've got to have those pieces that set you back on track. A New Year's resolution, I don't think it's going to set you back on track. Something visual that you can keep with you and that you can hold yourself accountable. You can even share it with others and say, hey, how are you doing on your scorecard? You knock these things out. I knock these things out on a monthly basis. I'm going to be feeling great. So happy holidays. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year's coming to all of you. Skip the resolution. Jump on the scorecard. Take care.